Hi, I'm Miss Kristen of the Oosterhout Free Library, and St. Patrick's Day is almost here. When I think of St. Patrick's Day, I think of leprechauns, gold, shamrock, and magic. So today I have a story to share with you, and I'm going to show you some leprechaun magic tricks that you could do at home with a little bit of science. And I'm going to show you how to make a lucky four-leaf clover using just some rectangular strips of paper. Pretty magical, right? But you might be wondering, what is a leprechaun? Well, the story I have to share with you is called The Story of the Leprechaun, and it is written by Catherine Tegan and illustrated by Sally Ann Lambert and published by HarperCollins Books. And in it, the author has little information about what leprechauns are. Leprechauns are a type of fairy, and for that reason, they have some magical powers and can grant wishes. Most leprechauns live in Ireland, although a few came to North America when families left Ireland in the 19th century. Leprechauns are misers and are careful about keeping their pots of gold in a safe place. They're generally suspicious of humans, who often try to capture them or trick them in order to get that pot of gold. But unlike humans, they also have a natural ability to find the end of a rainbow, which is handy when you're trying to bury your treasure. Let's find out more about the story of the leprechaun.
A little man about 2 feet tall lived under a large tree by a stream. You could easily find him by listening for the tap, tap, tap of his hammer. The little man was a shoemaker. He spent his days making shoes that were green gold and lavender. Some with pointy toes and some with high heels for the people who live nearby. And for the fairies who lived in the woods. The people knew he was a leprechaun, for there were many fairies like him who lived outside of the villages. The people paid the leprechaun with pieces of gold for the shoes that he cobbled. The fairy shoes were made of satin, and they were tiny. The fairies brought their gold to the leprechaun, too. The leprechaun needed a place to keep his gold. He was a bit of a miser, so he didn't like to spend money. An old metal pot became the perfect place for all of his wealth. His shoes were so prized that soon his pot of gold was overflowing. One day, a man named Tim came to the leprechaun's shop by the tree. He wanted a pair of shoes that would be violet blue with thick heels. As he was describing the shoes to the leprechaun, Tim spied the pot of gold. Tim knew that if he could capture the leprechaun, he would be granted 3 wishes, because leprechauns are magic. "I'll come back in a few days to collect my shoes," said Tim. The leprechaun was no fool. He knew what the man was really after. He buried his pot of gold in a field filled with berry bushes. A few days later, Tim came back, and the leprechaun gave him the violet blue shoes. But when the leprechaun turned to hide his payment, he was snatched from behind. The leprechaun could not escape. Now Tim could get what he wanted. "For my first wish, I want you to show me where the pot of gold is hidden. For my second wish, I want 100 pairs of shoes. And for my third wish, I want 3 more wishes." The leprechaun said, I can grant you the first 2 wishes, but the third wish? The third wish is a greedy trick and cannot be granted. The leprechaun brought Tim to the field and pointed to the spot where the gold was buried. Tim had no shovel to dig with, so he marked the spot with a stick and a shoe. He would come back later. When Tim returned, he could not believe his eyes. There were 200 sticks with 200 shoes all over the field. It was leprechaun magic. Tim dug many holes in the field, but he couldn't find the spot where the pot of gold was buried. After a few hours, he gave up. When he tried to collect the shoes, each one disappeared. The leprechaun had tricked him. The leprechaun needed to find a better place to hide his gold. He knew that rainbows were magic. You can never tell where one ended. And if he buried his gold at the end of one, only he would know how to find it again. So that is what he did. People still try to find his gold, but they never will. Listen for the sound of the leprechaun, tap, 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 as he cobbles his shoes. Perhaps if you find him, and if you are very nice to him, he will grant you a wish. The end.
That magical leprechaun sure was smart and tricky, but he kept his pot of gold safe. Do you think you could find a leprechaun's pot of gold? Well, to get his pot of gold, first you'd have to catch him, which is easy once you know what direction he's going. Try this trick at home that a leprechaun could use to avoid being caught. It's called Leprechaun on the Run. And what you'll need is a leprechaun. So you can either draw a leprechaun, or you can print out what I have in the description box below, or you could even just use the image with the help of an adult on a tablet or a phone. You'll see that in the next slide. And then you also need a glass of water or a jar of water, whatever you have. Now remember, the leprechaun doesn't want anyone to follow him and to find out where he buried his pot of gold. So he's going to try to trick someone to go into the opposite direction, and then that way they'll never find him. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your leprechaun that you drew, or maybe you have it on a tablet that's safely away from the water, of course. And so you're going to take a glass of water. Before you do that, notice which direction is he running with his pot of gold. All right, did you notice it? Now you're going to put this picture on a table or tablet, whatever you have, or phone, and then you're going to place the glass of water right in front of it and find out what happens to that image of the leprechaun. Does he look like he's going in the direction that you thought he was going? Try it out for yourself right now. Did you try it? Did he go in the opposite direction that you thought he was going to go? Do you wonder what's happening? Well, what's happening is that the light is traveling through the glass of water. And when it does that, it refracts or bends as it travels. And this makes the image behind the glass appear to be in the opposite direction, which will definitely throw anyone off the track of the leprechaun. No one ever will catch him and his pot of gold. Well, I have another trick for you to try. A leprechaun will do anything to hide his gold. He may even need a special trick to find it again. Can you find the hidden gold? For this magical coin trick, you're going to need a bowl, some coins, a flat surface like a table, water, and a partner. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the coin in the center of the bowl and place the bowl on a table. Now you're going to step back slowly until the bowl appears empty and you can no longer see the coin in the bowl. Now stand still, don't move. Have your partner pour the water into the bowl. And what do you see up here? If you try it yourself and see what happens. And what's happening here? Well, the light is refracting again or bending as it goes through the water, and it might cause something to magically appear. Try it out for yourself. To catch a leprechaun, you'll not only need to know his tricks, but you also need a little bit of luck. And we all know that a symbol of luck and good fortune is a four-leaf clover like the one right here. Why is that? Well, it is said that a four-leaf clover is not as common as the three-leaf shamrocks that we all know, like in my shamrock plant right here. You see it has 1, 2, 3 parts of its leaf. And a four-leaf clover has 4 parts. So I'm going to show you how to make your own four-leaf clover. Now look closely at a shamrock. Do you recognize the common shape? That's right, it's a heart. So you could make your own shamrock or four-leaf clover using heart shape. What if I told you you could make a three-dimensional shamrock or four-leaf clover using a long, skinny rectangle like this? Well, it's kind of tricky, but you can do it. So I'm going to put in the description box below a pattern of rectangles that you can print out if you wish. But you really don't need to do that. It doesn't matter what size the rectangle is, the long skinny rectangle, but it just needs 4 strips need to be all the same size. So go ahead and cut out one of those strips and see if you can figure out how to make a heart shape out of that. All right, I'll let you try and then I'll show you how. Did you try it? All right, so what you're going to do with your long skinny rectangle is you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to bring both the parts together, add a little bit of glue, and then let it dry. Have done that for all 4 strips of paper, then you can put a little bit of glue on the bottom, and you're going to glue them together like this. And there you have your four-leaf clover. You try them in different colors or make different designs on them. And then you could even put some string in there and hang it up to show your luck off. Well, I hope you had fun. Hope you have a happy St. Patrick's Day. See you next time. Bye.